Good morning, good morning, good morning. Technical difficulty Tuesday. Come on in, come on in. Hopefully, I've resolved my technical problem. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if I have sound. Technology today. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do I have sound? Can you hear me? Good morning, good morning. We're trying it again. Can you hear me? Come on in, come on in. Good morning, come on in. Someone let me know in the chat, in the comments. Can you hear me? Do I have sound? Do I have sound? I'm driving and my sound wasn't coming through before on the first few lives, so want to know if I fixed it. Come on in, come on in, come back, come back. Let me know. I need somebody to let me know if I have sound. Because first one I was talking about 5 minutes before I got anyone to co-sign. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I think I might have fixed my little issue. I ain't the most tech savvy person, but come on in. Let me know. Can you hear me? Please let me know in the comments if you can hear me or if you can't. Let me know, please. Can you hear my voice? Because I have some things to say, but I don't want to be talking to my dang self. Let me know, please, if you can hear me. Just let me know in a comment if my sound is coming through before I get into talking about what it is that's on my heart and my spirit and my soul. Good morning, Darren Lee. Thank you for that. Yes. Okay. So thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Ariane. Thank you. Yeah. I think when I was plugging in with my charger, it was kicking my sound out. So I'm not going to have it plugged in, have my charger plugged in. So we good. Because like I said, I got some things to say. And I'm going to start with the damn parade slash protest because it looked like a parade in Los Angeles right now with all the flags and the people. It looked like a parade. Um, I just was shooketh. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And Los Angeles is already crazy, with the traffic just on a random Monday or Tuesday. But now you got whole bodies in the daggone streets that you got to daggone bob and weave around. And it's just crazy because it's giving Olympics. Like it's reminding me of like y'all know Olympics was like the day before the game started. Everybody kind of walked through and you got your flags and you representing. That is what it looked like when I go on my YouTube account and I'm seeing all these videos with people doing live streams of what's popping off in Los Angeles. I see a bunch of folks and I go the Mexican flag. Like it ain't even a U.S. flag, y'all. It's the Mexican flag. It's the Mexican flag. Like I'm like, damn, like I'm feeling like I'm in Tijuana, Mexico. Like this ain't even a USA because I wasn't seeing nan US of A flag. It was all Mexico, all Mexican. So I'm like, okay, what we finna do here? Because these people like, listen, Linda, listen. Ain't nobody finna be going nowhere if you trying to put us up out of here. So that's kind of where we at. It done got so drastic, so extreme, to where people calling themselves trying to meet President Trump with that same energy. So my question is Trump standing on business? Cause he like, I'm gonna need for you to raise up out of here. I'm gonna need for you to raise up out of here, and I damn sure gonna need for you to raise up out of here. And these people are not here for it. They're not here for it. And I was listening to Representative Jasmine Crockett. She's a congresswoman for Texas, and she said something, and she was so true. And she's a Democrat, and she says that everything that he's been saying that he was gonna do, like he's doing it, like he's doing what he said he was going to do. So it's that part for me where where there's a lot of people who are sitting in confusion because the man said what the hell he was going to damn do. He been saying what he was going to do all of 2024, and some of that he was implemented when he was in the office back in but pre up until the 20 term. So I'm confused on where the confusion lies. But good morning to you all. Yes, please come on in, hit the like button, hit the like button. Thank you for that, Ariane. I want to just do a temperature check on to see where, like, what are people thoughts? Are people here for what he's doing? Because I hear there's a lot of people who are, and of course there's a lot of people who aren't. And I tell you who ain't here for what the hell he doing. Janelle Monae, I listened to her rant this morning where she was at a show, and before she got into her little set, she started popping off, cussing. What she gave Nelly the business. She Trump, like she's like, listen, and y'all know, some of you may not know. So Janelle Monae is a recording artist, and Janelle Monae is a part of the community, and she is like not here for just these things that President Trump is implementing. I'm not even saying trying to implement, like this man is like putting this into play. Like he's doing it. And she's not here for it, because she, I guess, feel like, her group is targeted, as far as her being a part of the community, the LGBTQ, and any other letters that I may have missed. Um, she's not here for it. So she damn, because Nelly the rapper smoothed the hell out on stage because she didn't appreciate, I guess, with him doing a performance with him the weekend leading up to the inauguration. So we know how she feels. We know how she feels. So again, back to the representative, what's her name, Jasmine Crockett. She's not here for what Trump is doing either. She's saying she about to start up a whole podcast, y'all. She was like, right now, she said there are no Democrats, I guess, Democrat politicians, I guess, with a podcast. So she says she's about to start up a podcast. This is, I'm talking about Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine, I keep wanting to call her Tiffany. Her name is Jasmine. Jasmine Crockett. She's going to start up a podcast and talk about some things because she gets a lot of questions raised to her. She says she went and got her hair did. Anybody know with the sister? When you sit in that chair at the salon, that's when the real conversations are had. And she was saying when she went to go get her weave done, her stylist, showed concern with just things that are taking place. Um, and so Jasmine, being a part of Congress, she's trying to get answers for people because that's what her job is. By trade, she's an attorney. So she is not here for Elon Musk being in office and being in charge with choosing what type of federal programs are to be cut versus not. And she just don't feel like she was like, he's got clearance to do things that even her as a voted politician do not have access to do. So people not here for this. And as far as with these tariffs, I got into that. I'm like, okay, let everybody talking about the tariffs. He done slapped them on Mexico, Canada, and China. So I'm like, okay, what's the deal? Okay, is the tariffs so bad? What's the deal with the tariffs? So and yes, the tariffs will raise costs because what's happening is that the costs are being applied to the people who are bringing in the product. So that's going to be Canada, Mexico, and China. So he's saying, hey, if you are going to be importing your products here, we're going to put a tariff, which is pretty much a tax. We're going to raise that. So people are spooked, running scared because they're like, okay, Naturally, if it's going to tax the distributor, the cost got to be absorbed somewhere. So that's going to naturally raise the cost of the goods. That's basically what happens. So, what I've learned is that the whole reasoning logic behind why he's doing this is because he's wanting to encourage us Americans to do more business in house. Do more business in house versus going outside. So he's like, okay, if I raise taxes, raise tariffs, taxes, if I raise that, I want to deter people here in the USA from doing business with those people and have them to say, you know what, it's cheaper to do business at home. So let me maybe find someone local to provide that service for me. Or better yet, let me start up my own business and, start offering that service to other people. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like, okay, we ain't finna go out to eat. We ain't finna go to the seafood restaurant. We're gonna go to the grocery store, buy our own food, shrimp, lobster, whatever it is, and we're gonna prepare it at home because okay, it's cheaper. Everyone knows when you go out to the restaurants, seafood, for example, it's expensive. Whereas a lot of times, when you prepare food and things at home, it's cost savings. So that is the mindset or the thought process that he has with this whole tariff thing to have you to now think this way of, it's cheaper to just kind of do business at home, just kind of keep it in house versus dealing with people who are external. So that's where that's coming from. You can let me know your thoughts on that, but I wanted to try to just understand the logic behind things, and that's what I gather with me, with learning, okay, what are tariffs? How do they impact the economy? How do they impact the distributor? How do they impact the consumer? And what I gather is what I just said. It's like, okay, it's cheaper to just keep it here. I did hear him talk early on when he took office that he wanted to lower taxes here for business owners because that as an incentive to keep your business here and not operate your business elsewhere. And when I say elsewhere, I mean like outside of the country. He said he wants to bring taxes down to, I think, maybe like 15%. 15%. So right now I think they're in the 20s, but he was like 15%. So these are things that he is saying as far as what he's trying to do when it comes to just the cost of things, taxes, tariffs, and things like that. So everyone kind of has to kind of think about it and see how the things that he's doing, how does it impact you? How does it impact me? How does it impact our economy? Does it make sense? These are the questions that I have, that I run down, I talk with my family, friends, I bring to you all, because we really have to really think it through, because it's so many layers. And there are some people that's like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, and it's so many people are just like, no, because maybe they're focused on maybe a particular thing that's impacting them. For example, say people of the immigrants or people of the Hispanic community, but it's not even just them that are being impacted with the deportation, but they make the news more. But it's other groups of people who are being impacted by the deportation as well. But Hispanics in large are the ones who are mostly been impacted. I did see over the weekend where I guess this maybe our military are at the borders. So I seen like a bunch of people who have made their way, with their children. I don't know how long these people been on the ground walking, but they got to the border and it was like, the military people there with their rifle, weapons and things. So they couldn't kind of go past go, they kind of were stuck. So I'm like, okay, well, what happens now? You done made your way all the way up until this point. My thought process, I've been wondering, is that with these people, I'm sure knowing that the president has been trying to put a stop to things, what's the thought process that they had with still trucking along, still making that journey on feet with their little small children, knowing that at the borders it's blocked now. So that's kind of what I've been, I'm like, it's almost like you doing a road trip and you taking your kids to Disney, and you already know that they saying Disney closed because some of the stuff ain't working right. But you get on the road trip anyway, and you make your way up there to get to the gates of Disney, whether it's Disneyland or Disney World, and you can't get in. That's what I'm trying to understand as far as the people, the migrants who are still kind of making their way up to the borders. Like, what is the thought process that they're having to say, you know what, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I know they saying whatever, but shit, I'm going anyway. So now they're there. You got the guard, the police, the military, whoever they're blocking, looking at them. They looking back at like, what are we doing? So is the end game them to eventually turn back around and go back? Like, what is the other alternative when you get to the border? Like, what do you do when you show up and the gates are closed, you can't get in? Like, child, these are the questions I got. It's so much to where I'm just like, this is crazy, this is insane. um Everything is just in disarray, and we ain't finna get into, okay, with the immigrants and with the Hispanics, when they leave and get raised up out of here, the field work, those jobs that they do in large. Because what I've learned just over the last couple of weeks, a lot of them haven't been showing up to work, and a lot of them have jobs where they're in the field doing just farm type work. They're not showing up to work, which I understand. Hell, they trying to run and hide. So when that happens, how's the work getting done? Who's doing the work? Who's doing the work? And if it's dealing with, the fields, fruits, vegetables, labor, the lack of labor, when there is labor, I imagine they're going to, the farmers, they're going to have to pay those workers more money, because the average American is not going to do that job for the rate that an immigrant, someone from Mexico or wherever, anywhere, they're not going to do that job for the same rate. They're not. The American is like, no, I'm not doing that job for, let's just say, for the sake of numbers, $3.25 an hour. You're going to need to pay me $15 an hour. So, so again, if now the farmer is paying out the workers $15 an hour when they were paying $3.25 an hour, they're going to try to roll that additional expense into the product, right? Because that's typically what happens in business when the cost of operations, because that will fall underneath operations expenses. So when the cost of operations go up, the cost of the goods are going to be increased, because the cost got to be absorbed someplace. That's just business 101, what you have to do, because the goal is to keep costs down and have revenue up. And right now, a lot of these businesses that heavily employ illegal immigrants, this is the challenge that they're having to work through right now. This is a challenge they have to work through right now. So a lot of people are running scared. It's just like, what am I going to do? What's going to happen to my business? Trump, you're the bad guy. And at the end of the day, it's processes that we have to go by. And there's a lot of processes that people have been skipping over for a very long time. And is that cool? Can we go to other places? Can me as an American, can I go to, let's just say, Paris, France, Europe, go someplace and be there, set up shop, get me a house? Can I do all that just from a visit? Can I fly over there right now and say, you know what, I don't want to go home and stay. Like, can I just do that? Like, is that a thing for me to do that over there? It don't sound like it would be, but that's kind of like what has happened here. It's like, okay, people, but here, hell, here's the thing with that. Even when I've gone with using the example of, say, Paris, going over there, I at least had a passport where I went over there in a legal way because I have a passport. So I didn't sneak into Paris. I went in a legal way. So I went through the front door. I didn't go through the underground tunnel. I didn't go through the back door, cut through the back gate, hop the fence. I didn't do that. I went with a passport. A lot of people that are here, they ain't come over here with no damn passport. What percentage of these people who are now running scared because they gotta, Trump saying you gotta raise up out of here? What percentage of those people came over here with a passport? So that's all I'm saying. Like, is it a whole problem for us to say, hey, we got processes that we want people to adhere to, just like the next place? Why are we bad? Because we're like, okay, we saying you come over here, but there's this process that I'm gonna need for you to follow, and we all it's Gucci. Like, think about it, you all. What do we have in place here that don't have a process that you follow? Like, this shit is real basic. It's not that deep. Like, it's just basic process. When your kids go to school, there's rules, regulations, processes, things that they have to follow. Even going as early as pre-K, daycare. You need to sit over here. We go to recess at this point. When you go signing your child up for to go to that daycare, you got paperwork that you got to sign. You got documents that you got to show. Everything, that's order, checks and balance. That's order. Our country is what it, our country is what it is because it's built on having some type of order. That's how you thrive. Things become chaotic when there is no order. So when I say that, think about environments that you know, or that you can, think of, you may be aware of, or just think about the logic of what I say. Is that whenever there's no order, when there's no order, no structure, you can think about it just in homes, just within your home or other people's homes you've been in, where you see there is just no structure. It's just chaos. People aren't thriving when you see those, in those type of environments. You'll be like, oh shit, I see why it's effed up over here, why they out of order over here, because there is no structure. Everything requires structure. You got to have structure. And to me, when it comes to the immigration thing, saying, hey, you can be over here, but you got to be over here this type of way, that's structure, that's order, that's regulation. That is basically how our country is able to be what it is because of those very things. It's not like a third world country. Like, it's built on people coming together, all walks of life coming together, doing what we have to do, following processes, having laws, having regulations, uh, rules. Like, that's why we're here, why we're able to operate the way we're operating, which is why, listen, here's peep game. This very thing that I'm talking about that we have is the reason why people are willing to risk it all to come over here. Because of the structure that we have that they don't have. Because of the rules and the regulations where they like, shit, don't start none, won't be none type energy. We not finna be letting the cartel, this group, that group, or whatever, think they finna take over and run shit like they will do in these other places. I understand why people from those places will want to run and flee. Like, I get it. But at the same time, people have to have that understanding as to, okay, we understand you want to be here, but I need for you to understand that in order to be here, this is this process that will have to be followed. This is how we're able to have all of this land of opportunity and freedom and work together and build, because of these very rules and regulations that we have in place, because of these taxes and things that the American citizens are paying into to be able to have these things. How fair is it for someone, say, to come over here and to benefit, but not be required to pay into it. And when I say pay into it, that's paying into it through your taxes. This highway, this freeway that I'm driving on right now, is paid into by taxpayers for me to be able to do that. Those roads, those highways that they're picketing or doing whatever the hell, I call it, look like a damn parade to me, a Mexican parade to me out there. Taxpayers pay for that to have access to that to and from. That's why sometimes you may go to other countries, they ain't even got paved roads. It's still dirt. It's still dirt. So like I said, the very reason why people want to come over here, it's the very reason we're using to say that's why you have to come over here the right way, because it's the way that we do things. Letitia said, yes, the proper steps. That's everything. Like, this is not trying to single somebody out. This is saying, I need for you to follow these rules. If you want to be driving out here on this road, I need for you to go to DMV and get your learner's permit, then get your driver's license. It's a process. Everything. It's a process. A to Z, it's a process. You don't start at A and jump to G, then P. Like, it don't work that way. So why is it that when it comes to, say, with the immigration stuff, why do we want to say, okay, well, let's just skip all over that? Let's skip all over that process. We're going to hear to this process over here, but we want to ignore that one. What? That's where the chaos comes from. That's when you start making it okay for people to do that, that's when we'll start to operate and move and look like the other countries. What would then make the USA so special then? We'll start looking like the other countries that don't have law and order. Is that what you want? Because remember, they're coming over here low key, y'all. These people are coming over here because they appreciate the law and order. Because law and order protects you. More often than not, law and order is going to protect you. Try going into an environment where there's no law and order, there's no structure, and you're used to it. You're going to feel so out of your comfort zone. You're going to be like, what the hell is this? What are we doing here? Give me some structure. Because I like to believe that the average person, the average responsible person, thrives in structure, and that's children all the way up to an adult. It's the structure, because structure allows for us to feel safe. We feel safe when there's structure. We're like, okay, you can woosah because you good. Like, okay, I'm good. I mean, I'm at home now. I got my family, I got my kids, I got my husband. You feel safe. Versus, say, you go into some other type of environment. Who the hell running around going to jail feeling safe? Who going into the penal system feeling damn safe? I ain't never been that place. I have no desire to go, but it don't give structure to me. It gives where they try to create it, to keep order, but it gives that it's a bunch of people who came from places where there was no structure. So now you got them all in one environment where the system, the penal system, they're trying to create structure. Y'all know it's crazy as hell in there. Hell, shit. Ain't nobody trying to go there. Ain't nobody trying to go there. You don't feel safe. Why you think they breaking out? Folks ain't breaking into. You only see folks breaking into jail in the movies. That is Hollywood stuff, when somebody breaking in, trying to get in there. Nobody ain't trying to get in there. Everybody trying to get the hell out. Everybody trying to get out because it's free for all. Y'all ever hear some of them tell their stories? They don't even sleep at night, or someone say they got to sleep with one eye open because they don't trust. They don't feel comfortable. And our country as a whole is a place to where it was built on you being able to feel that way, more so than any other place. And of course, our country got we got our issues that, our stuff that we gotta work through and get better on when it comes to just fair treatment and things like that. But I'm gonna say, what I tell anybody when I get in conversations, I do not desire to live in another country, because I know that every country got their pros and their cons. And I feel like of all the country, the USA has more pros than cons. It's a numbers thing. You got to balance it out because you're not going to always have it all your way. But you got to see, okay, do I have more things my way versus not? Okay, so if I'm saying, okay, I'm going to pick up and go to the motherland and I'm going to just go on over to Africa, pick me a country over there. Hell, I'm going to Kenya. I'm going to Kenya. Will I have as much rights, freedoms to do whatever it is I think I want to do over there, over in Kenya, than I know that I do over here? Like, you really got to think it through, because I'll hear some people say, okay, I'm a run over, I'm gonna go to Africa or whatever because I'm tired of um paying the taxes, or I'm tired of these politicians. That's just an aspect of our country. There are so many aspects of our country to where, what they say, the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, you can't throw out the whole situation because of one aspect. Like, you have to use common sense and discernment. Like, okay, yeah, this right here pissing me off, but I know I'll really be in my feelings if I took my ass over there. Who y'all seeing? What country? What? And let me, this gonna put in perspective. What other country do you see people in line for to become citizens of? Are people in line to become citizens of Mexico, Canada, any of those countries in Africa, Paris, London, Dubai? Are people waiting in line to get over there? Are people breaking in, like going through the underground tunnel to get to Kenya, to get to Puerto Rico? Why is it that people are doing all of that to get into the USA? Like, really think about it. Why? Of all these places I just named, which one has the most structure? You can come to conform that idea, that thought, without even going to Google and using common sense. Of all the places I named and even didn't name, which country has the most structure? Y'all ever heard they say kids thrive in structure, they won't discipline? Y'all ever heard a kid talk about, like, later when they grew up, they said they didn't get the discipline, they didn't get this and that, they didn't get the punishment, and they wish they had? Have y'all ever heard a person say that? It's real. When a person feels like there is disciplines, there's rules, there's consequences, innate, they feel like somebody give a damn. They give a damn. Because somebody that don't give a damn, they not putting all that in place. They saying, baby girl, you can, son, daughter, you can come and go as you want. I don't care. And a lot of times those kids, those teenagers that say that's their environment, they say it with like a problem. Like, you might hear them say, well, yeah, I be out at my friend's house for days at a time. My mama don't care. Like, they say it like it's a problem that she don't care, that she ain't taking notice that I ain't been there in X amount of days. They don't feel good about knowing that they're in an environment to where they can run amok and nobody kind of checking for them or trying to pull them by the collar and say, get it together. No, y'all, them kids be having straight attitude when they say that. They don't say it like it's a flex. They be like, she don't care. She don't care. She don't care. So that's the thing. This is why people want to come over here. And these rules that we're trying to force people, or the president's trying to force people to adhere to, this is that. This is how we keep it going. It's not about you not being able to come. It's just saying, hey, you got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. Go ahead and get in this line and do it this way, and we got you. We going to help you out. You can't do it that way, but come over here. We got you. Okay. It's like somebody say they hungry and they're opting to go into the grocery store and steal food. And somebody catches them and it's like, okay, doing it this way, that's not cool. But let me show you. Did you know that this even existed? Well, now you know. So when you and your kids, your family hungry, come over here. Talk to these people. They gonna help you out. They gonna give you some resources so you don't have to do that and risk putting your freedom online. And now you're removed from your babies. So you gotta move strategic. You gotta be smart about it. And people are so big a lot of times with moving out of feelings and emotion to where the logic just goes out the window because I'm very logical person if you haven't figured out. Like, so to me, what I'm kicking is logic. So people who are logical, you're going to be like, that makes sense. Like, it's real basic. So it's not about tearing families apart. It's about saying, hey, okay, well, if you over here and you got a family, you all to stay together can go to wherever you came from to stay, if because they don't want to break you apart, but it's not going to be an option for you to be able to stay here by default because you came here and created offsprings. That's not how it works. And like I said, I'm willing to bet that I can't go to any other country. I'm willing to bet I cannot go to any other country and do what immigrants have been doing for here. They're so bold with it. Remember I said a little while ago, how is it that these people are still walking in droves to get to the border when for the last couple of weeks, even before Trump took office, it was said that it was about to be heavily regulated in a way that it hadn't been before? It's the audacity. That's the lack of respect. It's the lack of respect because they know they've been able to break the rule. That's what happens with people. What they say y'all ever hear that old saying, you give them an inch, they take a mile. That is what happens. That's people do that. That's why when somebody doing something and it's out of order, you got to check it early on, because if you don't, they're going to continue to do it and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. You got to check it. And this situation with our immigration wasn't checked back before it got out of hand. So now it got out of hand, and it's like these drastic measures are being taken that didn't have to come to this had it been checked 4, 5, 6 years ago, however many years ago. So now Trump's trying to put it in order, but of course he's looking like the bad guy. It's almost like a child. Remember using the same analogy example of the child coming from an environment where he or she was able to do what they want to do. Now they get placed in a home, in an environment where there's a responsible adult that's saying, hey, no, you can't do that no more. We don't do that here. And guess what? The child, initially, they're looking at them as the bad person. They're like, well, what do you mean? I've been doing this. Or let's just say a child was once living with one parent and went to live with the other. Well, daddy, let me do this. Mama like, no, we ain't doing that over here. Because people run their houses differently, just like they run their country differently. So guess what? You got to adhere to the rules in your new environment. So if the rules at daddy's house is different than the rules at mama's house, okay, well, you ain't at mama's house no more. You at daddy's house. And over here, this is how we do it. Over here, you finna be at home. You finna be in this house before them street lights come on. You finna have that homework done before you go outside hanging with your boys. You finna do these things. You finna make sure that room together, the bathroom together, the kid. You finna do these things before you go do those things that you want to do to have fun, to kick it. This is life. You handle your business. You take care of your responsibilities. Then you go do the things you want to do. Then you get the rewards. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about structure. For some of y'all who don't know what structure look like, that is what structure looks like. And that child gonna be in his feelings in the beginning. But guess what? That child, if that responsible person was able to get hold of that child early enough before he went far off, let's just say at about 11, it's enough time to turn him around. For him to be like, okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, he's saying that if I do this, I can get this. Okay, bet, I'm gonna do it. Damn, he was right. I did this and he did that. Bet. Let me see shit. If I can do some more stuff around this house, what he about to come up off of? You see what I'm saying? Kids like to be rewarded. Hell, adults too. We get rewarded through paychecks. It's the same thing. Cause and effect. So every, cause has a reaction. So that's what it comes down to. Based on what you did, it's going to have a reaction. And we cannot, a lot of times, dictate what that reaction is going to be. And what's happening is that people are choosing to break the law for whatever reasons they may have. And they're mad about the reaction. And the reaction is the consequence. And the consequence is somebody, them folks rolling up on you and said, come on. get on this plane. Let's head to this big house over here. Like that's the reaction, and people are upset about that. But I always say we have control over our own actions, but we do not have control over the reaction that somebody may have because of our actions. So that's why we have to think long and hard about our actions and what we are contemplating on doing, because it's going to have a reaction. And the question is, are you here for it? Are you here for the potential reaction? Because you can't say I ain't finna be here for how they finna be reacting, whatever. It's no different, say, with me coming out here and me giving my opinion, and then the reactions as a result of what I had to say. Like, I have to be like, okay, well, I'm open for, okay, what the reaction may be. The teacher said this is not Mexico. They get why they are here as well. However, do it legally. Love your ideology. Thank you for that. K. Smitty said you're right. Ariane said makes sense. King Cell said stop driving, use your phone. Logical suggestion. Letitia said, I agree with you. The benefits in the U.S. healthcare and education, we must do better in those areas. The citizens have a great amount of control, unlike other countries. Yes, I mean, it's like I said, it's the reason why there's a line to get in the USA, and I don't know about no line being to get into any other country. Y'all let me know in the comments if people got lines wrapped around the corner trying to get citizenships in Ethiopia, Japan, China, Dubai, South Africa. Like, y'all let me know if it's a long wait list to get into them places. Because the last I checked, all them people in them places been trying to get here. So there's a reason for that. And I understand why that is, which is why I say this is the country I choose to live in and choose to call home, because it's the land of opportunity more so than any other place that I feel like I can go to in this world right now. I may visit other places, but to just permanently live, I don't think so. I don't think so. I appreciate the opportunities that I have, the ability to be able to talk to you all, uh, how, say the things that I want to say that are on my mind. Like, I appreciate that. Everyone don't have that. I visited Cuba right before. How many of you all been to Cuba right before we lost the ability? Because y'all, it's like we'll have access to Cuba and then the government will take it away. So I think I think when Obama was in office the last term, maybe I went to Cuba. So I was able to go over there. I went on a cruise with my sister, one of my sisters. So I was able to go in that little short pocket window where people were able to go over there. And what I learned, child, like I said, I don't know nobody lined up to damn get in Cuba, because there wasn't nothing about that place that had me to say, yeah, this is where I want to be. And I was there on vacation. I was looking around like, okay, I was in Havana, Cuba, and I did the tour, and it just it didn't speak to my soul. I don't know whose soul Cuba out there speaking to, but it didn't speak to my soul. So anybody over here who done made their way to the US of A, I understand. I understand. And what I learned over there is that their government is ran like the government basically controls them. So they don't have the freedom to say and do, how we move over here. They ain't that, like, the government controls what's on the TV, like all of that. Social media, all of that. It's like I said, that place didn't speak to my soul in a way of saying, hey, this is where you need to be. I went there. I have no desire to ever return, but I'm grateful that I got a chance to experience it, because I can speak on it and I can share my personal opinion about it. They talked about, like, the place, when I listen, when I say I wasn't ready, I was not ready for what I saw in Cuba. Just the way it looked like doom and gloom. Like, y'all, let me know if y'all been over in Cuba, if y'all from there. Let me know, because there was nothing about that place. I was like, well, damn, where's the rich and famous staying? Because I couldn't even identify The hotel, like there was nothing there that had me to say this is where it's at. Manji said, Cuba has no electricity. Listen, it was raining. They told me out there when we was on the tour, it was raining. They said, oh, when it rained, they don't go to work. I said, what? So you got all these partially finished buildings and nobody working because they said around in the country, when it rained, don't nobody go to work. Y'all, when I say I didn't see no restaurants, you know how you will have like your fast food restaurants, your gas station, your like there was nothing. It was weird because there was like nothing colorful out there. There was like nothing colorful. It was just like a movie. Like y'all ever see like them movie, them like a war movie in the town? It went through like war and everything is all gray. Ain't nothing like fully complete. You got all these piecemeal things going on, these partial unfinished projects. That's what Cuba looked like to me. Like it was nothing to where I seen a building and it was like done. Everything was done. Everything was piecemeal. Everything was piecemeal. I was just like, okay, where are these people going for groceries? I only just would see maybe like a little corner type store. I think the one gas station I seen, it looked old, kind of ran down. I'm like, and I didn't even see. Remember, I said, where the rich and famous stand? Because I didn't even see y'all like the hotels. You know how you'll go to a place. It wasn't no damn Ritz-Inn, no Carlton, no Hampton, no Marriott. Shit, it wasn't no Motel 6, no La Quinta. It wasn't even no La Quinta. What else? What else? Motel 8. That I ain't seen no Motel 8. I ain't seen no Motel 8. I seen cats and dogs. I seen a lot of dogs roaming around. A lot of dogs. And what I learned about that trip, they said the government got everything on lock, y'all, to where even the dogs is getting EBT on food stamps. So what I mean by that is that various times throughout the day, they feed the damn dogs. You know the stray animals that's out there on certain times during the day, they feed the animals. Like they controlling everything. It is crazy. So then y'all, I'm at this one place, like it's almost like a flea market. So I'm like, damn, why this lady out here with toilet paper? Because everybody trying to have a hustle, right? I got to go to the bathroom. I don't know why good sis sitting out here with some toilet paper. I go in the bathroom, ain't no toilet paper. She know it ain't none. You got to go through her and buy the damn toilet paper. I said, oh, hell no. Y'all let me know if y'all know some folks lined up trying to get into Cuba. Let me know who the fuck trying to line up to get into Cuba. Because, I had to circle back. So remember, I had already passed her up like, oh, excuse me. I got to go in the bathroom. I guess that lady like, oh, this bitch about to come back. She don't know where she at. She don't know where she at. So I'm like, you step over somebody, excuse me. I took my ass up in there. I said, oh shit, I had to bring my ass back out. And all right, this now. What you say you letting toilet paper go for? I had to holler at her. I had to holler at her. How much you let? Okay, how much I can give for? Listen, listen. Everybody had to have a hustle. Listen, Linda, listen. She knew. She was like, oh, she finna bring her goddamn bougie ass. She be back. They all they all come back. They all come back. But I circled my ass back around and got that goddamn. I was like, all right then, let me see what I can get. How much you letting the roll go for it? That's why it's good when you have the opportunity. And thank y'all for joining me. Please, like, share, subscribe. Y'all, I just be coming out here and speaking what's on my mind. I'm chic. Chic speaks. Y'all see. I be goddamn talking. But I like to travel, and I encourage you all to do the same if you're able, given the opportunities and you have the resources, because you learn so much about the world. When I went to Paris, it was very different there. The people that look like me. So here's the thing about Paris, France. Around the Eiffel Tower, you got black people working, and they're from Africa. And they're the darker, so I don't know which country they would be from. So they, the darkest of the dark. And it's all men. The darkest of the dark. They're working around the Eiffel Tower selling things. Now, they ain't in the inner parts where all them stores at, where Zara, hell, that's how I came to know what the hell Zara was. I wasn't, listen, I don't be in no damn Zara. I learned about Zara in 2018, I think, is when I went to Paris with my sisters. I learned about Zara then. And I'm like, okay. But remember I said the dark skinned people, they were nowhere. It's like, I don't know if it's a rule where it's like, okay, y'all asses got to stay over here. Y'all stay over here with your little blankets and your trinkets on the ground and your backpacks and bags and keychains. This y'all area. Because for what I learned is that I think they're over there through some type of program. And so, like I said, they're Cameron, y'all let me know, like in Africa, who would be, I can't, it's not coming to me right now, but they're like, if you ever saw a really, like Alec Wake, that supermodel, where is she from? Like they have her skin tone, just a really beautiful, rich, dark, like literally black skin tone. They weren't brown like me, they're black. So if they were looking like that, they're, it's like they were isolated, limited to the type of jobs that they can do. The ones that maybe even looked black like me, they can work in a hotel. They can maybe drive the bus, but they're not doing jobs that put them like service front in front of people. You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you got to be over here. And this is that stuff that I'm talking about, because when people choose to come to the US, they're not limited to, okay, you can only do this job. You got to stay over here. You can go wherever you want to go. That's the beauty of the USA. And other countries, it's not like that. It's not like that. You could tell that these men, they were limited to where they can go, where they can move around to. Can you imagine, those of you who live here, can you imagine going to a country and you're limited, okay, for whatever reason, however they choose to slice and dice and say the why, you got to stay over here. You can't go over there. You can't do that job over there. And to me, it was giving colorism, because they were the darkest of the dark. They were the darkest of the dark. And it was so many of them, but they were all in one central area. To me, because I don't see that. I don't see that here in the USA. If people, you'll see people like Hispanics will be in their little communities, Asians, but you'll still easily see them anywhere else. Oh no, in Paris, your ass, your baggage, you, where you going? You know you ain't supposed to cross that line, be over there. I remember when I went into the shopping district, I looked up and seen one, and I'm like, I got to wonder if his ass was supposed to be over there. Because remember, it's a slew of them. If y'all know, you know, you've been to Paris, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a whole bunch of them. They're all men, no women, y'all. All men. So they all looking like brothers and cousins. But they were all like in the area where the Eiffel Tower is, on the outskirts, and not in the shopping district. So it just, to me, gave that they couldn't go to these other places. Sky Striker says, don't agree with how the title people overseas are paid. Gary says, we done serve Donald Trump and your beautiful wife and family to sir. So, I mean, everything is centered around really self-interest. Like, what, does it benefit you? That's anything, how we vote, how we view things. You just think about, how does it impact you? How does it impact your family? How does it impact your loved ones? So I can understand those who are, say, American citizens who may be Hispanic and all. Like, I can understand them being in their feelings about what's happening, and grandma and grandpa, aunt, uncle, and people asking them to raise up out of here. Like, I get it. But at the end of the day, it's about order, and that's what this country is built on, with having processes and orders in place, not being chaotic, not being chaotic. Y'all remember the story? Did y'all hear in the news? Remember in Colorado, the people from one of the Spanish speaking countries that took over the hotel? Did y'all? Was it Argentina? They were from somewhere. I think it's a country start with an A, and they took over hotel, and child, them folks, they was going around collecting rent from the. Now, okay, let's talk about goddamn order. Can you imagine living in a building, your apartment building, and some people then just moved in to your building, took over one of the units, however many the units, and they knocking on your door each month asking for the rent? Like, this is what was happening in Chicago, and I recently came to learn that it was happening in New York, because the same people who was a part of the little Chicago situation, they done made theirs to the East Coast, and they rolled up and took over another apartment building in New York, and the same thing happened. It was reported in the news. Somebody, one of the people who lived in the community, they was like, they couldn't even like they couldn't even comfortably walk through the halls of their, these are hardworking people. They were like, we couldn't even walk through the halls comfortably, safely with our children. There was one unit with 15 people deep in it. Child, one damn apartment. Y'all know these spaces, especially in New York. Like, I know a one bedroom apartment in Georgia is given way more than a one bedroom apartment is in New York. They were like, there was a one bedroom apartment in New York, and it had like 15 folks up in it, and these people was just wreaking havoc on the community. And like, who trying to live like that? Folks work too damn hard to be having their damn nerves shot. Hell, your safe haven's supposed to be your home. Hell, you already had damn near cuss the folks out at work. You trying to get through this damn traffic, trying your best not to damn cuss them out, because folks crazy. So be mindful with the road rage. And then when you get home, you got to deal with that. And then it was so bad to where even the landlord people, like, it wasn't even trying to take over and take reign, or hell, the local police at that matter. Houseway, how the fuck somebody can just roll up inside of an apartment building and just straight take over and start collecting rent? What the hell they do that at? I can believe that in all these other countries I've been talking about, but in the USA, houseway, how? Trump rolled up in, it's like, hell no, what you fucking not finna do? What you not finna do? And that's what I feel like he rolled up with, that kind of energy on what you not finna do. Not on my watch. But this is that stuff, y'all. It's just, we just want order. Ain't nobody trying to damn live like that. Like we in damn Cuba. I done ran down what the hell Cuba was giving. Ain't nobody trying to live like that. I know I wasn't. And them people there wasn't trying to live like that. They wasn't even acting like the hell they really want to be there like that. The damn ones I seen and talked to. So no. Yeah, the government just runs everything in Cuba. So it's just like they provide. It's almost like, think of everybody being on Section 8. Everybody getting EBT. Like, that's basically how Cuba is. And that's their way of just being in control over everything. It's crazy. It's insane. And I was just like, okay. I said, you know what? If I ever, so when I was there, AG says Cuba has healthcare and they have some of the best education. I learned that it was free. College was free. When I went to Cuba, the lady who gave me a tour, she said college is free in Cuba. I think she said typically somebody starts college at about 16. About 16. And I think college, your bachelor's is probably going to be about 2 years. What else she said? No, college is free. She said a lot of the children, the teenagers, have drinking problems, like, because of, I guess, alcohol. I'm not a big drinker. So with the alcohol, and I guess it being made there, maybe the bourbon or something like that. I saw a teenage kid, like, so I was on the tour and I seen kids, and they were in their uniforms and things. And one of the boys, the boy, he was maybe about 14. He had a liquor bottle, not a Coke can. He had like the liquor. He had him a bourbon bottle, child. He had a liquor bottle Yes, I was like, what the heck? And she says that she said the lady who was giving us the tour said that they deal with a lot of youth drinking and driving and things like that and having alcohol problems. That is a thing she said that was there. Um, I didn't see tent cities, but it was almost like I didn't. It's just everything just looked really old and run down. Everything looks older. Like I said, even the damn dogs is on Section 8 getting food stamps. Shit. So I guess nobody going hungry over there because the government is in control. So they're just divvying out everything. So the question is, would you rather be in a situation to where your government is giving you, providing you, let's just say, all your resources, whatever they deem you should have, or would you rather be someplace where it's up to you and the sky is the limit? So if you want to eat steaks, you can eat it. If you want to eat hot dogs, you can eat it. If you want to eat pizza, you can eat it. It's up to you. And that's the equivalent of here versus there, because there is not up to you. The choice is not yours. It's okay. They said, listen, this is what's on the menu. Take it or leave it. It ain't no options. Like I told y'all, I didn't see no damn fast food restaurants. Anybody that know me, I like to eat. I like to go to different restaurants. I'm looking around, y'all. I didn't even eat no food there. I was like, oh hell no! I'm like, I get my meal when I get back on that Royal Caribbean ship. But I didn't even buy anything. When I say it, just I couldn't do it. But again, it's like it comes down to, do you want somebody that's saying, okay, I'm gonna give you the handout, I'm gonna give you everything, but it's a cap? Or do you want someone to say, okay, I'm not gonna really give you a whole lot, but I'm gonna have all these arenas, these things open for you to just go in and just pop off, do whatever you need to do and make that money. However much you make, that's yours. And it can be way more than what I would offer you if I was just taking care of you, or it can be less. But it's up to you. Do you want to have that control to be able to control your earning power? Or do you want someone to say, no, this is where you're capped off? This is your cap. And that's to me how I equate, when I went to Cuba, that's how I looked at it. That was an environment. They're like, okay, you're not gonna be homeless, because somebody mentioned no tent cities. I didn't see nobody that was looking like nothing like that. So you're not gonna be homeless. You're not gonna be hungry. Dogs, you ain't hungry either, because we got you at 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. Y'all, I ain't even making this ish up. These dogs was on the eating schedule, and these are the stray dogs. Now, I ain't saying I don't know what kind of quality food these damn dogs was eating, because they was little. They was little, they was skinny. They wasn't giving pit bull energy. Not at all. Not at all. But they was getting a meal. Nonetheless, they was getting a damn meal. So I'm like, I personally would rather be in an environment where I got the control. Where, okay, no, you can keep your EBT or whatever, your Section 8 or whatever, because your Section 8 is limiting me to where I can live. Your Section 8 is saying that I can only live over here. I don't want to live over there. Well, man, where you want to live? I want to live over there. Well, man, Section 8 don't work over. Goddamn, you keep Section 8. I'm just going to work my ass and do what I need to do because I want to live over there. That's the beauty of having options. And so many people don't have those kind of options. And when you travel the world, you see that. And it has you to appreciate the options and the opportunities that you have. And that's why I always encourage you to take advantage of those opportunities. If you want to go to school, if you want to further, your education, advance in your career, buy a house, get married, whatever, do those things. Do those things. You don't have to have someone collectively over here telling you who you can marry, when you can get, like, it's different. It's different over here. We literally just doing what the F we want to do for the most part. But we got rules and regulations. But for the most part, like we out here living in the USA. We are living and people around the world see us living. Social media, They like, bet, that's where I want to go. Can you blame them? I can't. But you got to be strategic about it. You got to think like, damn, I want to go there, but I don't want to go there and get kicked out or get in trouble. Let me try to figure out how I can go there and be able to stay there. Because when you identify a place that's a desirable, you trying to make sure you do it the right way, right? You don't want to mess it. You don't want to mess up the plug, right? You like, shit. We ain't listen. I got to approach this thing the right way. Kind of like a quality person. You see you a quality man, or man see a quality woman. He thinking like, shit. I can't fumble this back. I can't f this up. I gotta approach this the right way, because it's a real one right here. This ain't no scallywag. This a real one right here. So I gotta be on my game. I gotta make sure that I got my itch together. I heard Steve Harvey say that, when it came to Marjorie. He was like, when he first saw her, he wasn't ready. He knew his stuff wasn't lined up right. He already knew he was gonna have to come correct. He's gonna have to come correct. And that's the energy that we should want to give off to people. And this is the energy I feel like how our country once gave off until it didn't, which is why people just freely was just started coming over here, because it stopped giving that energy of top shelf. You want to have that top shelf energy where people know that when you come over here, you got to be on the up and up. Who wants to live in a country where any and everybody can come regardless of what type of character you have? What type of like criminal like, no, I need the background checks on these damn people, because a lot of these people who are here illegally are doing the absolute most, and they were doing the absolute most in their country, which is why their crime rate is low and ours is up. Now we already got Americans here who be doing the absolute most. We don't need no damn foreigners and no illegals coming here doing absolute most. Our system can't handle that. We got too much damn popping off on our own. We don't need no help in that areas. We trying to get that under control. That's the thing. That is what it's about. But what I'm hearing is that these other countries, they got all-time low crime rate. Y'all know it's bad when these other countries, when Trump was trying to send asses back, and they were saying, no, we don't want them. Their own people didn't want them because they know that they was down there raising hell. They like, we done had peace. Trump, don't come up in here messing up our goddamn peace. We done had goddamn peace since we done got rid of Carlos' crazy ass, because he was doing the absolute goddamn most. Maybe we need to work together. We can put something on it, send some money over there for his ass to help feed him. But we don't want him over here. This is literally like how these people are responding. They're like, I'll pay you to keep his ass over here. Like, legit. Like, this is the energy. You know it's bad when they like, I can't do it. I know his ass from over here. He look like me, but I can't goddamn do it. He done made a nerves bad. We over here sleeping at night because we done got rid of his crazy ass and his cousins, his brothers. Can we just send you, can we send you $200 every month? Kind of like child support. I don't want his bad ass. He doing too goddamn much. Can we put y'all ever see some of them kids where one of they co-parenting, the parents are co-parenting. One of the kids didn't work the damn mama nerves so damn bad. I done heard her, she be like, you going over to your daddy house. I pay his ass child support. You getting the hell up out of here, because I can't goddamn do it. You need to be over there anyway. You look like him. You look like him. Take your ass over there. I'ma send him. How much you want? How much you want for little Curtis? I bet. Direct deposit every month. I'm sending you $500. $500, because I can't goddamn do it no more. I can't do it no more. This is what the energy that these leaders in these countries are giving when it comes to their own people. They don't want it. And think about like getting rid of a problem and you having a peace of mind, and then you learning that goddamn problem is on its way back. That's like, ladies, some of y'all, or men, some of y'all done got rid of a toxic person that was in your life, and they call your asses one day. You come home from work and their asses on your front porch talking about, I need some place to stay. You like, oh, hell no. Because you didn't have a peace of mind since they monkey ass has been gone for the past 6 to 12 months. You ain't trying to go back there. You been sleeping good. You sleeping in the goddamn middle of the bed because you ain't got they dusty ass there no more, taking up space, wasting air, doing absolutely damn nothing. So now the day you learn that they done showed up on your doorstep, you like you like um how much that hotel how much you need on that hotel. Y'all ever come across some people to where you willing to pay out to help them someplace else because you like I can't do you. I can't have you here. Like I put some money on it. Where there's some people you like. I give you money. What you need? You need some groceries. You need to be put up for a few nights where you're willing to pay for them to be someplace else. Because again, you all, it's the peace of mind. It's the peace of mind. And peace of mind is like you can't buy that. It's just like when you have that peace of mind, when you have that peace of mind, you ain't trying to go back there. You trying to protect your peace because you know what it felt like. You know what it felt like to not have to be worried about ish that you used to worry about. So you like, I'd rather be by myself. How many, you hear a lot of women like, shit, I can't got them do that. Tyrone, Keith, Michael, Brandon, Tom, why that's he air, all of them didn't work my damn nerves. I can't do it. I'm just gonna stay on right here. Shit, with my dog, my cat, because I got a peace of mind. And sometimes, it be that way to where you're willing to sacrifice being by yourself to have that peace of mind. And I think, with these countries where a lot of these people came from, these leaders in the country is feeling the impact of the people who was just doing the absolute most, them being gone. And these people were having a sense of peace, feeling safe, operating their businesses, not having somebody rolling up in there trying to shake them down. Y'all, you be seeing that in the movies where the local hoodlum be coming into the businesses, the small mom and pop businesses, and shake them down. And y'all, that's real. Anything that you see that get put into the movies, know that stuff is happening. No, it's real. It's real life. It's real life. If you see it playing out in the movies, it's real life. It's happening. It's happening. It's going to happen. So these places, they started just being able to operate in a way that mimics a lot of the way we used to be able to operate, where you can just have a peace of mind because they had order and they appreciated it. They appreciated having order. Dark Knight says, no, it's like getting your ass beat by a guy, then thinking he's going to be your protector. Um, yeah, I mean, people just have delusional ways of thinking, but to me, when you stop and use common sense and discernment and really think it through, it makes sense as far as trying to have order and regulate the way that people come into our country. And I appreciate living in a country that basically operates out of order and that promotes for people to be able to have a freedom of speech, speak their mind, to be able to protest. Because what they say is not what you do, it is how you do it. So yeah, sure, protest, but don't do it in a way to where it's created more of a problem because of how you're doing it and it's overshadowing your reasoning. That's what I'm saying. You just got everything is just kind of like how you move, like how you doing it. Like, okay, I got a message. So I don't want to come and try to deliver my message and offend you, like be disrespectful to you and call you all out your name because I'm going to lose you. It's a way that I got to show up to present my message because the goal is for you to hear me, for you to see me. So I have to be strategic in, okay, what's going to be the best way for me to get in front of people and to get my message out and me to retain their ear so I won't lose them. Because sometimes when people do the absolute most, guess what? You lose the people because they're so stuck into how you're going about doing it. And people take L's a lot by how they move, by how they move. Be respectful. And it's so many people who just find it hard to just extend respect. That's just real basic. That's real basic. We don't have to have the same beliefs, but we should be required to respect one another. We should be required to respect one another. So, regardless on what my stance is, I'm going to respect the next person if respect is given to me. Listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's just the basis. And that's how we should be teaching our children. And I know that's how I teach my children. Everything is just rooted in respect. It's going to start first with self-respect. Because hell, if you ain't got self-respect, these people out here ain't moving with respect for others because they ain't even respecting themselves. Going back to using the example of just the jails and the prison systems and those people, you got a lot of people who have done, majority of people who I do believe who are in the penal system are rightfully there. You're going to have some where those instances where they're wrongfully convicted, but I do think that's a way smaller percentage. So I want to speak on the ones who deserve to be there. Those who are there largely did not live lifestyles that was very structured and where they operated from rules of engagement. Like they just did what they want to do. So now they're all together. Like think about it. Like you live this lifestyle where you just did what you want to do with no consequences, no regard, because say in your area you was a big dog, but guess what, now you in the system and you in prison or whatever, and you're running into hundreds of other people who held that same position in their community. So now who finna be the overall big dog? Now you got a whole nother problem because they don't know Keith, they do not know who you are. These people ain't never been to Detroit. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. They ain't never been to no MLK or no Roosevelt. So now you're in an environment where these are other people who never had to show respect to anyone or anything because they was throwing a weight. So y'all all together now. So it's survival of the fittest because everybody's trying to throw their weight and trying to put themselves above the next, and it creates a dangerous environment. And again, that's what you have when you don't have rules, processes, laws. It just, even just take about like some of you are like my workplace. Like I work for a company and then it's like, to me, it's too free for all. Like it's nice, but at the same time, I thrive in structure. So because it's not structured like I'm used to, it creates room for a lot of things to be very subjective. Because when you don't have rules and regulations and checks and balance, it's hard for you to go have a conversation about somebody being unfair or doing you wrong. Because what are you basing that off of? If there's no rules and regulations and processes and things like that, what is your argument based off of? If you got rules, regulations, process, things like that, you can refer to a document. You can say, well, according to right here on the document, on 5A, it says this, that, and the third. And you speak to the situation from that. That's why it's important to have things like that in place and not have it so subjective. Because to me, just having everything just so, free for all, everybody it has for people to be able to just form their own thoughts and opinions about whatever it is that you may have done. And you may feel like, well, I've done everything that I'm supposed to. Based off of what? If there is no document, no checks, no balance, what are you basing it off of? And when they say, well, you haven't done everything you're supposed to. Okay, well, what are you basing it off of? You see what I'm saying? That's why it's important to have processes and procedures and documents and things like that, because it helps everybody to be able to substantiate their argument. You can say, well, you didn't do this. This is on the list. I can go to the person and say, well, I did that. That is something that's on the list. But it just works. It works. It works. So somebody who's used to structure understands when when some things work. And a manager once thought, well, maybe managers or leaders, they need structures. They used to whatever. It's not a manager or leader mindset. It's the mindset of the person. Because I'm not a manager or a leader, but I have this same thought process that you want to feel that only a manager and a leader would appreciate. No, maybe I just had a leader mindset, but no, it's the person. It's not just managers or leaders that thrive need structure and say, oh, this ain't working, and the people down below can just be okay with the free fall. The ones that down below are the ones that get the short end of the stick. So no, it's a mindset. My mindset is structure. That's how I get ish done. That's how I know what the recipe is for success. When you have structure, I'd rather any day be in an environment where there's structure, where there's rules, than a place where they say, okay, she just do whatever you want or whatever. Because guess what? If I can do whatever I want, everybody else can too. And that's dangerous. That's not what you want, because everybody don't handle freedom the same way. Y'all ever see some people, they just can't handle freedom. That's why you got a lot of people like who will return back to being in jail and prison. There are some people who acknowledge that they just do better being locked up, being in the prison system, than being out and about. Some of them I've heard say they like the idea of knowing they have some place to stay. They're getting 3 meals a day. Like, child, like I didn't heard this stuff. Like, there are people who truly believe that it's better for them to be in an environment like that than to be out and having to figure things out themselves, because their best, they feel like their best comes from somebody telling them, this is the time you eat, this is the time you sleep, this is the time you go outside, this is the time you socialize, this is the time you watch TV. There are some people, what do you call what's the word, they become institutionalized because they got used to that. Y'all, like, if you listen to like an OG, like a lot of times, like somebody who really did time in there, like they'll say, some of the young ones probably say it, but really them like ones who like, the OGs, they'll be like, yeah, they talk like that, that being kind of in and out or did like a lot of time. They just talk about liking the not having to be that responsible adult in, the real life outside. That's just too much for them. So they need to be inside where somebody can handle all of that. It's kind of too like military. It's like a lot of some people struggle with acclimated into civilian life coming out of the military, because military is a lot like kind of how the prison system is very regulated. It's just that you're dealing with predominantly civilized people. You're gonna have some nutcases everywhere, but it's gonna be, mostly, civilized people. But it's an environment that's very controlled, where you're doing things very routine. So that's why, like a lot of times, you see people who come from military, they're very kind of disciplined. Everything is like they do everything the same way, whether how they eat, what they eat, when they eat, where they eat, down to their living situation, their housekeeping, how they keep house, everything, because they come from a very disciplined environment. So they struggle when they come into like the civilian world, because now it's like you have the responsibility of that. And there are some people who can't handle that. I've always been in the environment where it's just me having the responsibility of things. So I've never been in an environment where somebody else kind of was over, like, from, other than being a child and, your mom, being raised and they're telling you do this and that. But since I've graduated high school and I'm 44 years old now, like I've been like handling business on my own. So making my own decisions. And that was the thing that excited me about life, because I knew that, wow, life is what you make it. And if I want to have a different result or a different outcome from what I've seen with people near and dear to me, then I know that I have the power to make a different decision. And so as a young teenage girl, that was what I would think a lot about, as far as like, okay, well, what do I want my family life to look like? Uh, okay, where do I want to live? I was excited about now coming from an environment where, my mom, she was, she was a single mom. So she held, it wasn't strict, but, it was very structured. We were very disciplined. And so now the idea of like, wow, I can do what it is that I want and not have to really think about, what it is that she wants. So that excited me, but that scared the hell out of a lot of people. That scares a lot of people. But I think it's a beautiful thing to know that you at least have that as an option. Because like I said, in Canada, not Canada, Cuba, there ain't no option, child. They gonna tell you, everything is regulated down to what you listening to on your internet, on your TV. Everything is controlled by What's his name? Del? Is he Del Castro? What's the man name, y'all? Everything is controlled by the leader there in Canada. So what they call it, a democracy. Is that the name of it? You call it a democracy when the one person is kind of regulating and telling everybody what to do. That's pretty much how it is in Canada. And I listen, the way this Scorpio is built, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. I knew that just soon as I got off the ship and seen what I was working with just from the visuals. I knew, oh hell no, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. The old cars and all that. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. The cars, like 19 set, like the cars are old. Like I tell y'all, like it's like y'all, what was that show? Happy Days? I used to love Happy Days when I was a kid. It was like all the cars look like the cars from Happy Days. And got a lot of, pictures and things like that. But I just was like, this ain't for your girl. Mm-mm. I need more. I'm gonna need more out of life. I'm gonna need more out of life. I don't require a lot. God damn it, I require more than this. I require more than what y'all trying to offer us, sister. Period. So, but I'm grateful for being able to say that I went over to Canada to visit, because there's so many. It's very few people actually that can say that they've been over there. As far as Americans and things, because of them. Taken away that as an option, a travel destination for us for political reasons, from my understanding. So at the time when I got back, it was a lot of people I was meeting that was saying that it was on their bucket list to go over there, but they didn't get the chance to go over there. So I think that was 2018. I think I went. So I've arrived. I've arrived. I've made it to my destination. I'm in the office. So these car chats, I'll do them. I started doing them last week when I'm, in my long commute into the city limits, into the office. I live in the suburbs, so my drive is very long. But getting on here and just talking about just what's going on in the world, it's it gives me the opportunity to tap in and just do a temperature check to see how other people are feeling out here. Dennis says, "Oh, Trump is going to give you more order than you can stand." We gonna see, cause like I said, listen. I need structure and order, so we gonna see. I don't thrive in chaos. I do not thrive in chaos. DD says, "Are you talking about Cuba, not Canada?" Yes. I think I misspoke when I said Canada. I'm talking about Cuba. Yes, Cuba. Cuba. Yes. I went to Cuba, and it's just, I knew as soon as I stepped off of that ship, this wasn't the place for me. Paul said, "Do you see the Bible coming to life now?" I mean, I hear so many people say it's the I definitely feel like we're in our last days. Um, it's so much that's so questionable, to where that's just a thought that I have. It's just, and I can't say based off of like any particular things. It's just, we're so far removed from just whatever, biblically speaking, what's in the Bible, to where it has me to believe that, child, this got to be it. This just damn got to be it. It's it. It's it. So I'm at a point to where, because I have no answers, that's all I got to believe, is like, it just, because I ain't got no answers for anything else. I have no answers. Ariane said, "Trust God's plan." And I'm out here. I always say I'm out here on a wing and a prayer, literally, like many people, on a wing and a prayer, because every day I learn about something that just takes the cake for the last thing I learned. So I just stay lifted in prayer. I'm very spiritual, not religious, but very spiritual. And coming out here and talking to you all, going live, sharing my thoughts, hearing your thoughts, or seeing your thoughts as much as I can while I'm driving, uh, it helps me to kind of gauge, like, okay, where other people are, while also getting out, my thoughts and sentiments about the things that are going on. So yeah, this is my when I woke up this morning, I said, I don't know, it hit me last night. I said, what am I? Let me see. I drive into the office tomorrow. Car Chronicles. That was a thought that came to mind. Car Chronicles. And I said, okay, I'm going to put that in my title of my video tomorrow, Car Chronicles, because that's what it is, because it's so much to discuss. And it's just kind of, I come on here and I just spew out like all the things that's kind of running through my mind and my thoughts centered around them, hoping that they land somewhere. And even though they may come out a lot or I touch on different things, it's kind of like how my brain is. I'm very analytical, um, and I'm a deep thinker. So I get these thoughts, and it's like a data dump. And I just hope that those, who follow me, it resonates and you can catch what it is that I'm putting down. But I'll be definitely coming back to you all more with some lives, just talking about the shenanigans that's going on in the world. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Heavy on the like. I don't know why folks be playing around with the like button, but listen, y'all, listen. I do appreciate you all tapping in. Hello, Vasalis. Hello, hello. I appreciate you all tapping in, and definitely, please, like, share, and subscribe so you'll know when I go live again. I actually have two channels. This is my smaller channel. I have a larger channel, Chic Speaks. So if you want to check me out over there, you can go check me out over there. But both of the channels are pretty much like reaction channels and things like that. I have two channels. So make sure you're following me anywhere for Chic Speaks. Type me in the search, Chic Speaks. And you can look in the description of my channel, Chic Speaks. This is Chic Speaks on it. My other channel is just Chic Speaks. So follow me so you know when I go live. But that's all I got, folks, for now. Until some other shenanigans, because y'all know by the end of the day, something else gonna be popped off. Something else gonna be popped off. We moving fast. We moving fast. We moving fast. Something else gonna be popped off, and I'm be having to hit the live. Talking about come on in here, come on in here. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy Tuesday, and I will catch you all in the next broadcast. Peace.